Good morning to all of you. So today we will start the class of basic electrical engineering from that place where we left off in the last class. So I said that in the last class due to lack of time we were yet to cover the topic called classification of elements. So right now firstly I will finish up this thing and we'll advance more. So in the last class we discussed about the concept of voltage and current, and then we discussed about electrical circuit elements such as resistance, and I said that inductance and capacitor are the two elements that you often encounter in an electrical circuit, but we will discuss them in subsequent chapters while dealing with DC transient or steady state analysis as well as AC analysis. And the topic of the last class, as already I have mentioned, that yet to cover due to lack of time were classification of elements. So let's see what are the different class of elements are. First one is linear and non-linear elements. Okay, it is said that an element is said to be linear whose VI characteristics follows only one equation of straight line passing through the origin throughout. Now mind the definition very carefully. An element is said to be linear whose VI characteristics, like here if it is I, it should be your V. So in this case the VI characteristics follows only one equation of straight line, so it is necessarily a straight line. So for a linear circuit, IV or VI, whatever characteristics, should be straight line. That is first criteria. Second thing is what? It should pass through origin. Pass through origin. Okay, so it should pass throughout the nature, it should pass through origin. So in that case, with the given figures, let's discuss what happens with these given diagrams. Okay, so there you can see we are given with 10 figures. So let's discuss them in the light of the above mentioned definition, whether they are linear or non-linear. Okay, so these are I, V, I, V, I, V. So at the very first figure you can see that whether it is, we have to check whether it satisfied the two criteria or not, that is the characteristics is throughout a straight line, and second is the pass through origin. So both, you can see from the diagram that it is satisfying both the criteria, so obviously it is linear. Okay, I'm writing L in place of linear. Okay, let me use a different ink for that. Okay, I will use the green one. So it is linear. Diagram 2, what happens to it? See, there is a difference between diagram 1 and 2. Both of them are straight line and passing through origin, but their slopes are negative. So if this slope is positive, then this slope is negative. You can see that. But our criteria does not have to do anything regarding the slope of the straight line. You just have to check whether it is a straight line or not throughout, and throughout it is passing through origin or not. So again, it satisfied both the equations, so it is obviously another linear element. Okay, now in the third figure, it is passing through origin, that is true. It is straight line, that is also true, but throughout it is not continuous. So it is not continuous in view of, you can see in the diagram 1 and 2, in the other there are two coordinates. Obviously throughout means what? You can see that here it is written that origin throughout. So it is passing through origin but not throughout. In this what can I say, coordinate, it is not defined, so it is a nonlinear element. In the same analogy, diagram 4, it is passing through origin but the slopes are not same. I mean to say, it is not a straight line at all. Like here in this case, the straight line starts from here and ends here. Here it starts here and ends here. Here it starts here, so it should have ended here, passing through origin throughout. That is the meaning of the word, passing through origin throughout. But after it reaches origin, it changes its way. So it is not a throughout case. Okay. So it is also a nonlinear element. In the next diagram, you can see that, I mean to say, the diagram number 5, the characteristics is neither passing through origin, or if you assume that it is origin, but still at after a certain point it is not a straight line, rather it is a constant magnitude. So there is not a straight line maintenance of here, so criteria fails. So that's why it is a nonlinear element. In diagram number 6, it is clear that it is not a straight line nor it is throughout the origin, so it is also nonlinear element. On the same analogy of figure number 3, the figure number 7 is also nonlinear. It is not throughout. Okay. Now one interesting thing you can see in diagram number 8, it is a throughout straight line, but second criteria fails, that it is not passing through origin, so it is also nonlinear. Just we have shifted diagram number 1 by some amount, then it becomes from linear to non-linear because it is not passing through origin. Okay. What about diagram number 9? Obviously it is also not passing through origin nor a straight line, so it is clear cut that it is a nonlinear element. Now in diagram number 4, you can see it is passing through origin, that's true, but in both the coordinates after a certain time it is not maintaining the straight line criteria, so it is also a nonlinear element. Okay. Next comes active and passive element. So active element is what? Element which delivers power to circuit, that is active. Okay. For the time being, let's just tell you one thing. Linear means who is maintaining straight line and passing through origin throughout, and who is not maintaining that thing, that is non-linear. That's why which is not linear, that is non-linear. Okay. From the name it also implies. Okay, let's get back to the criteria. I mean to say, second category of classification based on the delivery of power. So an element which delivers power to circuit, they are called as active elements, and those elements who cannot deliver power to circuit, they are known as passive elements. Okay. For active element, you have to remember one thing: the slope. It may not be a straight line, may be a straight line, it may be linear, it may be non-linear. The slope is always positive. The slope is always positive for active element, and slope is negative for passive element. Okay. So I hope there might be confusion, so I am repeating it again. Those elements where you look at the slope of the IV characteristics, obviously these are all IV characteristics or VI characteristics depending on the situation, same thing. Okay. IV, IV, IV. So here if the slope is positive, then the okay, it's my mistake, obviously, that's why I was checking it throughout. you have to look at the VI characteristics. If the slope is positive, then it is active element. If the slope is negative, I am doing the same thing again. If the slope is positive, it is a passive element. If the slope is negative, it is an active element. Okay. So according to definition, which elements are able to deliver power, they are known as active element. And if you analyze the VI characteristics of active elements, the slope is negative, and those who are not active, they are passive elements, so their slope is positive one. Okay. Now another thing you should remember, very shortcut trick to remember, first and third coordinate. In VI characteristics, first and third coordinate, that means this one and this one. So if your characteristics cover these two region only, so they are known as passive element, because you can see that in first and third coordinate your V is positive, I is positive, so it is a positive slope. Similarly, in the third coordinate your V is negative, I is negative, so they both their effects are cancelled out and it is a positive slope. The slope means what? dIdV or dVdI. If it is IV characteristics, slope means dIdV. If it is VI characteristics, slope means dVdI. So slope positive means what? These quantities should be greater than 0. Now in first coordinate both of them are positive, so slope is positive. In third coordinate both of them are negative, so their slope is positive again. So in first and third coordinate the element is passive. Again, if it is second and fourth coordinate, then on a similar logic it is an active element, because here you can see that the characteristics have a negative slope. Okay. Next we will be dealing with unilateral and bilateral element. According to the definition, which element offer same impedance when direction or polarity of voltage or current gets reversed. So let's discuss about a diode circuit. Suppose it is connected to one battery. Okay. So you can see that I think you have a basic knowledge of physics from 10+2 level. So it can conduct, because diode P side is connected to positive terminal, so it is in forward bias and the circuit have a current, and if you attach a resistor over here, so the resistor will have a current flow when this connection is said in that way. Now if I either change the diode connection or battery, not both, any one, suppose I am changing the direction of, it is a polarity of battery terminal that is connected. Now again the resistor that is connected here will do not suppose current, because the diode is right now for reverse biased, so current will not be flowing through it and the resistor will not have any current. So due to the diode, the rest of the circuit, that means here in this case resistor only, it may be any kind of load. So due to the presence of this diode, here you can see low resistance, low R, here you can see high R. So if you compare both these cases, you will see that the element offers different resistance or impedance. Actually, what is impedance? Impedance means ratio between voltage and current through any element. Ratio between voltage and current through any element. In case of DC, we know it as resistance. In case of AC, we know it as impedance. So on a generalized basis, impedance is the ratio of voltage to current. So if we say that in case of DC impedance is resistance, that is true. But from now on, if we try to generalize something, we have to say that impedance is the ratio between voltage to current. Okay. Now the next thing what I was talking about, an unilateral circuit bilateral circuit offers same impedance when the direction or polarity of voltage or current gets reversed. If it is not doing so, this is unilateral circuit. Like here in this case, the diode offers different impedance, not the same impedance, different impedance when polarity of the voltage, here voltage source, no current source is there. So when polarity of voltage source is changed, the diode offers different impedance. From diagram 1 and 2 it is clear. So that's why the diode is unilateral. On the other side, a resistor suppose the diode is not here, in place of diode you replace a resistor over here. This terminal is A, this terminal is B. So in this given diagram, the resistor can flow current, and in this diagram the same resistor is there. This side is A, this side is B, suppose two terminals of resistors. Till you can see, as other circuit parameters are unchanged, the same current will be flowing through it. So in terms of the definition, the resistance AB offers same impedance when the direction or polarity of voltage source is reversed. So that's why a resistor is said to be bilateral device. Okay, so it's a bilateral device. Now if we try to analyze that from IV characteristics again, you see that what does it signify in terms of slope or characteristics. You see that same impedance when direction or polarity gets reversed. So here this coordinate 1, you see that in coordinate 1 whatever is the polar impedance, here we have to see the impedance again. So what is impedance? Vi, or in other words dV di. Okay, now dV di is what? That is your slope. So you have to see that the slope should be same. Slope, we have to check, slope does not change. Listen here this very carefully, because it is the only critical thing, but very easy. So here in this diagram number 1, you can see that the slope is throughout same, so it is a bilateral device. On the other side, in the diagram number 2, apparently it sees that it is +4, so this is -4. So in both the coordinates the nature of the curve is same, so it is also bilateral because it is offering same. It may be linear or non-linear, that does not do anything with the definition, but it is bilateral device. But in the third diagram, here you can see that this is 8 whereas this is -6. They are similar but magnitude is different. Here magnitude is 8, here magnitude is -6. So that's why the impedance offered is not same. So dV di is not same. The slope is different here and different here. The slope is what? Voltage divided by current. If the voltage level is same but the current level is different, so V by I is different in first and third coordinates. So slope is different obviously, and that's why it is unilateral one. Okay. Now every linear element is, it is very important note, you should note it. Every linear element is bilateral, but the converse is not true. So if the material is linear, element is linear, obviously it should be bilateral, but you can check it with the other diagram that I have given. in these cases you can go with the linear elements, and you have to check whether they are bilateral or not from their curve. Like here in this diagram number 2, the slopes are same in both the coordinates, so it is a bilateral. I mean, the slopes are same means the magnitude of slope does not changing, but here in this case the slope changes, so it is a unilateral one. That's the thing. You can verify it with the other linear diagrams, and if you are having any doubt, obviously I am there. Anyway, so let's get back to that. So every linear element is bilateral, but the converse is not true. See here, the diagram number 2 and diagram number 3, they are also bilateral, but they are not linear. So that's why we said that because why are not they linear? Because it is not passing, I mean to say they are not throughout straight lines. Okay, and it is unilateral, so no case of being linear. Okay, so next we will be going through classification criteria 4, time variancy, time variant and time invariant circuit element. So again, their IV characteristics. See, an element is said to be okay. So far we have discussed about, let's summarize. So far we have discussed about classification of elements, linear and non-linear elements. What are linear elements? Which have a straight line characteristics throughout and passes through origin necessarily. Those who does not obey that, they are non-linear elements. Second, active and passive element. What are active element? Who are able to deliver any power, they are active element. Who are not able, they are passive element. If we analyze the VI characteristics, the slope for active element is negative and they cover the second and fourth quadrant. Okay, so this is a active element, and where the slope is positive, they are passive element and they cover 1 and 3rd coordinate. So it is passive element, it is also passive element, it is also passive element. Okay, next we dealt with unilateral and bilateral element, and we said that an element which offer same impedance when direction or polarity of the voltage or current source gets reversed, that element is known as bilateral element, otherwise it is a unilateral one. And the last thing is time variant and time invariant. Now an element is said to be time variant when VI characteristics changes with time. You see, at first, at time t equal to t1, here in this diagram you can see the VI characteristic, suppose this was this, when time is t1, at some other instant of time t equal to t2, the same characteristics changes, t equal to t2. If at all instant of time the characteristics was t equal to t1 or t equal to t2, anything, then it should have been said that it is a time invariant thing, element. But as you can see that with change in time the characteristics changes, the slope changes, the characteristics as a whole changes, it is not same as the previous one, so that's why it is said to be time variant one. Okay, so that is the thing of classification of elements. Now let's discuss something that there are given 4 diagrams and what type of nature they are. You can see that some magnitudes are also given. Okay, for your clarity I am just writing IV. One thing is clear from the mentioned figures, that they all are time invariant because their characteristics is not changing with time. Now we have to see that what are the other properties that they possess. So in diagram number 1, you can see the slope is positive, I mean to say the slope is straight line throughout and passing through origin. So it is a linear element. Its slope is covering coordinate number 1 and 3. So it is a passive element, and its slope does not change its magnitude throughout. So it is a bilateral element. Clear? Let's look at the diagram number 4. Here you can see that obviously it is a nonlinear element, it is not maintaining any straight line criteria. Second is, again it is covering first and third coordinates, so it is also passive element. But in the third category, here you can see that the third coordinate, the slope is 2, minus 4 by minus 2, that is 2, whereas in the first coordinate it is 4 by 3, so 1.33. So slopes are not having same magnitude, so it is unilateral element. On the next, here you can see that, excuse me, the element is not maintaining straight line relationship, so obviously necessarily it is a nonlinear element. The coordinate that the characteristic covers, that is first and fourth, so at least one active region is there, so it is not a passive element, it is an active element. So some kind of activeness is there as it is covering the fourth coordinate. And about the magnitude, you can see the magnitude is similar in first and fourth coordinate. The magnitude is similar in first and fourth coordinate. Okay, so you can say that it is, but here in this case the slope is positive, where in this case the slope is negative, so it is unilateral element. If this was covered in the first and fourth, then this slope was positive, this slope was positive. Magnitude may be same. See, minus 3 and minus plus 3, they are not same. So if the slope is plus x here, it is minus x here, as they are not same, so this element is unilateral one. And lastly, here in this case you see that it is nonlinear, that's true, not straight line, though passing through origin. Second thing is it is passive element, no activeness is there, as the slope is always positive or in first and third coordinate only. And in the third case the slope is minus 6 by 4 here and 6 by minus 4 here, see here. So ultimately the slope is minus 1.5 in both the cases, here this coordinate and this coordinate too. So it is a bilateral element. So with that discussion we end up about the classification of element. Next we will be covering about your next topic, that is